It's been a lot of fun. It's always fun when Bob Carey comes to visit and goes and visits his friends Rick and Bubba. He's of course the president of Syndicated Solutions. Operates out of the Northeast there, Connecticut, New York, and
local bird watcher.
And he's been ducking and diving from the attacks of a vicious hawk that has traumatized he and his family. Brought his son Nicholas with him. We've had some fun with Nicholas this week. You realize you've let Nicholas hang out here way too much. Normally, Nicholas, he's here for a little while. I mean, he's really had access to this place and been around the staff for nearly 3 full days. By the time you go home tonight.
I'm sorry.
So think about this. He starts high school in, 3 weeks? So imagine what we have done to those poor high school students now.
Yeah.
Getting him ready.
That's it. He's ready.
Well, we play this game that we all played as children called Circle Dodge, where you make somebody look at your finger in a circle below the shoulders. If you do, you punch them in the arm. And so Bob comes up to me late yesterday, and he's like, hey, what is how Bob does it? He's like, what are y'all teaching Nicholas? He's punching me in the arm, and so you and I was like, well, we taught him a little game.
Yeah, well, we took care of it. As I said to you before, I had to tell him. I said, listen, I'm your father. I'm not your friend. So no more punching because I'm not a punching bag. Thanks very much.
Yeah. But his little brother, when y'all get home tonight.
Poor RJ, he's in trouble.
at it.
He's in trouble tonight.
Yeah.
He is.
I think he'll be in the car from the airport. Where you said 3 minutes, it might go 5. It won't go beyond 5.
I'll text you. I'll tell you exactly. I'll just send them both back. You can take care of it, okay?
Yeah, we'll handle it. Now, Bob, this is an unscheduled visit.
It is. Came up suddenly.
And anytime Bob comes to town unscheduled, that means he's working some deal.
Or the Yankees are playing in town.
Yeah, or the Yankees.
Yeah, they've lost a couple games though, so I had to get out of New York, right?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all right. They're still in first place.
Now, are you Giants or Jets?
Giants.
Oh, so
The
you're
matchup.
very happy.
Yankees, Giants, Knicks.
Yeah.
Those run together, and then the other ones are the Jets, the Mets.
The Nets now?
And
The Brooklyn Nets.
And the Nets?
The Nets. And who is it, Bob? What's the?
I think Islanders go over there too.
The Islanders go with the Jets, people?
Yeah, I think they kind of. Yeah, they do.
And
Y'all have Rangers.
Where Rangers are more Yankees, Knicks. Basketball, hockey is a little different. I mean, for the most part,
do any New Yorkers mix?
That is, and the Czars would appreciate that. That's always a topic on sports radio in New York because people feel they're very adamant that if you are a Mets fan, you can't be a Yankees fan.
Right.
And I feel bad for the Mets. I mean,
Here he goes.
They never win.
There we go.
For us, we know the divide line is Yankee Red Sox. It's Auburn, Alabama. That's what we have. Yankees Red Sox. So
you're saying that it's sad that the Mets are not your biggest rival?
Yeah. If the Mets were to win, because what have they won? A couple times. So if they won 1 point, I'd be all right because Yankees have all the other championships. At least they're still in New York. If the Red Sox,
you don't have to make the case for the Yankees, Bob.
No, they don't.
Okay,
exactly.
That's not what we're here to talk about.
We lose an outfielder, we go get Ichiro. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bob, we let's be clear. The deal is not done. We've got to do paperwork. Everybody has got to sign off on it and agree on it. But the good news is we are as far as basic.
Well, it's very exciting.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: when we go travel around, we get to go to a lot of places for various events. Without fail, I will always run into people that they loved Rick and Bubba on TV when we were on Turner South.
That's right.
Or B, it was the only way they had the show because they didn't have a radio affiliate. They're like
had a couple
the Carolinas, not South Carolina, but North Carolina. They've never had a radio affiliate. Their only way to watch the show and know about it was the Turner South years, the 3 years we were on.
The couple here yesterday in the Golden Ticket seats. Yeah, that's how they know you.
That's how they knew. And there's still people to this day going, is that ever going to happen again? And I remember saying, and Bubba, I remember you saying it too, that Turner South deal was so unique because it was, and we were like, I don't know that type of setup will ever find its way to us again. And
right.
And we're doing some syndicated radio TV stuff that's an hour from the show, but we just didn't know whether that type of see the show while it's happening, the majority of the show on TV would present itself again, but it appears that it has.
Well, it's something we've been working on. We've talked about for years, the 6-7 years we've been working together. We've wanted to get you back on television, and we have the opportunity. It's really exciting. It's presented itself last few months we've been working. The Nashville network is going to relaunch October 1st, and Rick and Bubba is going to be the morning show on the Nashville Network. At this point, all 4 hours will be live in the morning. So the listeners out there have to make sure they call their cable operator, their local television companies, to make sure they're going to be able to get the new TNN, and they'll be able to have Rick and Bubba on radio and Rick and Bubba on television. And then in the evening, they're going to run the best of 1 hour show. I think they told us yesterday it was around 6:30 at night Eastern.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at. And, we're still got to make sure that the paperwork works and every T is crossed and every I is dotted.
The attorneys are now handling it.
Right, and everybody.
In this case, every T and every N.
Yeah, but to me, it's just, first of all, this thing is twofold. It's pretty cool that TNN's coming back because, when that went away, everybody was, that was a really cool channel.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's interesting how that happened. We don't have time for all that today, but bottom line is TNN's going to come back, show some of their classic stuff, the TNN programming.
Crooks and Chase will be there.
Yeah, that everybody loved, and it's going to find its way back on through, you'll have to be able to access it in according to where you are different ways, but it'll be on a lot of cable companies will have it on, and
some will be digital channels.
some will
They're
be
gonna
digital, over air, and but the bottom line is we've been asked to be the morning show for the relaunch of TNN.
And it really is a perfect match because if you take a look at where the show is strongest, with XM Radio, we obviously have a great footprint around the country now. With Ustream TV, what we've been doing, you've got a good following there. But where the show is strongest, obviously, is going to be a real footprint of TNN. So they're going to blend really nicely. We're excited. I mean, you guys, how great is that? You guys are going to be able to have that television outlet now.
And the cool part about it, because our show's always we've been acting like we've been on TV before we ever were.
Yeah.
I mean, we the way we act, because you see some shows, radio shows on TV. I know Don Imus is a legend, but I mean, sometimes you wonder, my gosh, is Don dead? You know what I mean? When you're watching,
maybe it's a hologram.
When you're watching the show, he just kind of sits there and talks. Right. We've always played to the camera, shown stuff, goofed off. Try to show you what's going on here. Ours has been a little more like Dan Patrick does his.
Right.
That's kind of the way we did ours.
Well, and I think it's important for our radio affiliates because the fact is, listen, the radio show has grown. We've got 60 so affiliates around the nation. The Rick and Bubba shows we've all talked about and told with TNN, the magic that's here is not changing. So the radio stations are going to get the same product that they've always got, but now this is going to simply be a simulcast for people to be able to, if they can't get to the golden ticket seats, to be able to look in on the show and be a part of this every day.
Now, there is one change they wanted to make, and I don't know how I feel about it yet, but they wanted Rick to change his name to Ralph Emery and Bubba.
Right.
And
so
you drew the
I
line
don't
there,
know.
Bubba. You stood up for him.
I
did.
Yeah, I like how you drew the line, too, on not going, changing it to be, Chase as well. So.
Right.
So, but it'll be fun, and you remember when the Turner South thing happened, you always.
Do we get to meet Lorianne in this deal?
Probably. You always get the doomsday guys. Oh my gosh, Turner South, man, that's gonna mess the whole radio thing up. But the bottom line is this: I don't watch TV in the car, and the other part is, the last time we did it only enhanced the radio, and the radio numbers were as big as ever, and all it did really was an enhancement, didn't really affect.
Yeah, I think before we had speculation about what it would and wouldn't do, and
but now
on the
we
business side of things. But we have an example now, and it really was only a win-win for everybody.
So be looking for that. Call your local stations, your cable operators. TNN is returning. It will return the 1st of October, and if all of the agreements pass the test, we'll be there.
You'll be there, and we'll be ready for October 1.
So those cameras will be peering back into the studios live on a daily basis if we get all the paperwork approved and everything gets done.
That's it.
Thanks a lot, Bob. We'll be right back. Stay close.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.